Hello to all my friends out there, and this video is insect concerns. The main insect that I see a concern with is flies. Hate flies. Okay, I have some mint tea. So if you guys watch the alternative news, there's all kinds of reports. Bees are dying. Well, how come no flies are dying? Why is that? Why is there no reports of, wow, thousands and thousands of flies are dying? Why is that? The flies seem to be doing fine. The bees are not doing fine. Okay. So what about flies? Well, these flies could be evolving in ways that are causing them to survive, whereas the bees are not. The evolution of these flies could be big trouble for humans because flies are very, very nasty. Where do you usually find flies? Well, you find flies around manure. You find flies around dead things. And you find flies around garbage. So you want to keep your eye out for flies, large quantities of flies, and you want to look into the source of these flies. I was working in the North County, and I said, wow, there's so many flies, I hate it. And the lady goes, well, yeah, there's a dump around here. I go, wow, I would never want to live here because of I don't care what a ritzy area is, those flies are unsanitary. So, you know, if you don't have manure, if you don't have cattle, if you don't have horses and you have flies, you might be saying, well, why? If you don't have a dump and you have copious amounts of flies, you might want to say, wow, what's going on? Okay, dead things. Or say things that contain manure, like water runoff from these farms and stuff. The wash off with the manure in it could attract flies. Okay. So one thing bad about flies, really bad about flies, is flies can transmit disease because they crawl all over all kinds of nastiness, and then, you know, if they get into your house and they crawl all over your dishes and your food, you know, it's just nasty. Super nasty. You want to stay on top of your pest control. Can insects be weaponized? Yeah, insects can be weaponized, can and have. The Japanese, you may remember Operation Cherry Blossom. The Japanese were bad. What they did is they infected the fleas with bubonic plague, and I think it was dropped them on China in balloons. Operation Cherry Blossoms. You can look it up for yourself. Well, could flies be used to transmit disease? Could flies be weaponized? Yeah, flies could be weaponized by our enemies. In fact, the Japanese had plans to send us some balloons with bubonic infested fleas. World War II. You can look it up. So yeah, insects can be weaponized to transmit disease. How about cyber insects? Are there cyber insects? Yeah, there's cyber insects. You can go online and you can look up cyber insects. And they're very fly-like too. Flies are the worst. Flies are super nasty. Okay, cyber insects. Well, why go to all the trouble to create a cyber insect when you can use regular insects as weapons? Well, cyber insects could transport radioactive substances without dying themselves because they're not flies. They're cyber flies. Okay, so flies, insects can be weaponized. They're cyber insects. Also, these small fly-like cyber insects could be used as little cameras as well. Okay, and then last, and really bad thing to think about flies or insects. You know, I did the video on mantis beans. In the Bible talks of a very strong demon, Beelzebub, who is Lord of the flies. So what does this mean? Well, Beelzebub is an evil spirit, a fly-like spirit, and possibly hordes of demons could infiltrate flies. You know, the flies, remember the container, you know, I did a video on aliens looking for containers. You know, it could be a person, it could be an animal, and it could be an insect. So these hordes of flies, of fleas, of lice, of locusts could all be inhabited by demons. Okay, can a demon-inhabited fly be killed? Yeah, they can be killed if you can kill the fly, but if the fly is a cyber insect, they'll probably still be destroyed. But, so what I suggest is at the first sign of a lot of flies, it needs to be investigated. Where are these flies originating? Is there garbage? Is there dead matter or maybe even dead humans or animals around? Is there garbage? What is attracting these flies? And so, aside from keeping up on your extermination in your house, you want to have fly spray or bug spray available. Paper strips, you know, the kind you hang that's going to catch them, and glue boards for insects. No telling what kind of misery that could save you. So just put it in the back of your minds, and when you see these, like, there was two places I remember recently. It was Sardinia, those were locusts, and Iran locusts. So where did all these locusts come from? Well, they could have hatched naturally, and they could have been let go. So, you know, the same thing could happen to us. So you want to be very, very careful, especially with fleas as well. There was also diabolical plots to send poison dust to us during the first Iraq War. And so if you see anything unusual, of course, you want to report it to the Homeland Security, especially things to do with dead animals or possible dead people. Okay, you guys, God bless you all.